You're listening to That Vegan Couples podcast with Natasha and Luca.
Episode number 84, Sausages, Animals and Porn, and Nursery Discrimination.
Welcome to That Vegan Couples podcast. 2 people, 1 mic, endless possibilities.
Earlier this month, Bunnings announced that proceeds of its November 22nd sausage sizzle would go to those affected by the devastating blazes in New South Wales and Queensland. But Facebook group Vegan Gals Australia were quick to hit out at the cause, questioning why people were selling sausages when it's known that meat is a contributing factor to climate change.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? So, look, there's nothing wrong with raising money, obviously, to help bushfire victims. I mean, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
That's good. And there's nothing wrong with doing that by having a barbecue. Great thing. It's what you put on the barbecue that's the problem.
Yeah.
Especially with considering what you're grilling up is actually contributing to the cause that you're trying to raise money for. What are you doing?
Yeah, it defies logic.
Right.
A radio DJ here in Australia brands vegans not well for saying meat is bad for the environment.
Where do we start with this? Okay, we're going to...
The bill, called the Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act, was introduced by Representative Vern Buchanan, a Republican, and Representative Ted Deutsch, a Democrat. Deutsch said, "Special thank you to all the animal lovers everywhere who know this is simply the right thing to do. This is a major step to end animal abuse."
There is so much to talk about from this point on, my goodness. All right, so first I just want to add here that under the PACT Act, a person can be prosecuted for crushing, burning, drowning, suffocating, or impaling animals, this is so sick, or sexually exploiting them. Those convicted could face federal felony charges, fines, and up to 7 years in prison, as you said earlier. So just reading that list of what this bill is about is just, again, I just feel nauseous.
But there are some parallels there with the animal agriculture industry, aren't there?
That's the thing. I mean, this bill does not include what happens to animals bred by the animal agriculture industry. So not for food, not for meat, dairy, eggs. It doesn't include hunting. It doesn't include scientific research. It doesn't include anything that the majority of animals are actually subjected to.
So the question begs, are we against animal abuse as a society, or just certain types of animals that are being abused?
In certain ways, that's right. I mean, it was really interesting, this last line here, the quote that you read out, "This is a major step to end animal abuse." It is not a major step. It was a picture that was taken for a calendar, and it was a picture of 7 vets, 7 men who are naked, standing in a shed, holding up sheep to cover their genitals.
Yeah, so the image has been removed from the Royal Veterinary College's upcoming 2020 calendar after a number of complaints, and rightly so. You know, it's a disgusting image.
It's really bizarre.
You know, again, this sexualization of the use of animals in some way.
Yeah.
Like, it's perverse.
I don't understand why anyone would think this is a good idea to put in a calendar. Who came up with this? Who actually said, "Hey guys, let's strip your butt naked and stand in this shed and hold these sheep up over you"?
Yeah, deeply disturbing, deeply disturbing. And
It's just
I don't know, for
weird.
like a cheap laugh, or someone thought they were being clever or funny.
Well, some of the guys actually look a little uncomfortable. Some of them look
I
like
was
they're
going
having...
to say the same thing.
Some are smiling, and then there's 1 or 2 that are like,
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
feel
this
good
is the
about
best
this.
idea. Yeah.
It's just bizarre. And there's one guy at the end that's holding the sheep's head. Do you see that when we're looking at it now?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really sexual.
One anonymous parent branded the move plain wrong, saying it discriminates against kids who eat animal products.
I can't even begin with this. Oh my God.
To impose a lifestyle choice on these children before they can make their own mind up is plain wrong, they added. If anything, it discriminates against those kids who enjoy a diet of meat and fish. To ban them from eating meat is outrageous. It's simply not their decision to make.
Oh gosh. All right, well, let's just break this down. I think it's going to break me down. Okay, so as a parent, when you bring a child into this world, what you put in that child's mouth, you are imposing on that child. As Colleen Patrick Gaudreau says, it's called parenting. We are all forcing our values, our food, our lifestyle, everything on our children. That's what people do as parents.
My son has a big appetite as well. I think he'll come home starving. To go veggie is one thing, but to go full-on vegan is just madness.
Oh, it's madness. It's madness not to have baby cow breast milk. It's madness not to have something that falls out of a hen's cloaca. This one, we're going to talk about two articles here that are kind of linked. And when we were preparing for this podcast, you came up with a cool title for this segment.
Oh, yeah? Farmers say the darnest things?
Yeah.
Or shit farmers say?
Yeah, I like both of them.
You like both of them? All right. Article number 1 is titled, Farmers Opt to Say Process instead of Slaughter because of Unfortunate Connotations.
Oh, my gosh. My Orwellian head is just spinning right now.
According to a delegate at the New South Wales Farmers Annual Conference, the word is not appropriate for animal agriculture as it has connotations of mass murder. Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, wow.
So
is this real?
It is real. It's an article actually
Have you
from
given me
earlier
a
this year.
bogus article?
No, it's not fake news. This is real news. This article was published on August the 2nd this year.
Right.
So it's a little bit of old news, but it is not fake news.
This is a good thing, though, because being forced to come out and say something like this must mean there's like a growing awareness, if you like, amongst the general population. Outraged farmers have urged the public to not pay attention to BBC documentary Meat, a Threat to Our Planet.
Heaven forbid we listen to the science and link meat to the environmental problems that we're having. No, don't listen to any of that.
Well, if we listen to that...
Stay ignorant.
That's right. If we listen to any of that, we couldn't criticise vegans for calling out sausage sizzle to raise money for victims of the bushfires.
There you go.
Avoided angry tweeting whilst watching BBC hashtag Meat a Threat to Our Planet. Agriculture and Forestry Policy Advisor Eleanor Kay wrote on Twitter.
Oh, no conflict of interest there.